All right, so I am headed over to Sizzle's apartment. We're about to check out some of these new beats, this new production that Flip just sent to us that we have to pick through to see what we want to use for the album. The process of picking production can be extremely difficult on the side of the fact that whenever you have a dope producer and they send you a bunch of fire, you have to really decide based on not just what's dope, but also what fits what you're trying to do. So we always have a hard time picking beats whenever Flip sends them because the dude just sends us so much heat. Like, he'll send us a batch of 20 beats and we want 20 beats. So we have to always limit it down. So we headed over there right now to see what we can come up with from the batch that he just sent us. The goal is to have only 2 from this batch, but we will see what happens.
Trust me, I've got this. Don't worry about it. Archie and Sizzle are the bomb.
No, so we back, man. Episode number 2.
Yep.
We excited to be here. You know what I'm saying? A&S in the building. And so, as you can see from the intro, we're excited to be talking to you guys about the process of the production slash finding the vibe slash choosing our beats and the producers that we work with, man. And so it's really dope. Like, this is probably one of my 2 favorite parts of the album process. Yeah, like I love, it's like Christmas every time I get a package of beats sent to us from producers and get to listen to them for the first time.
Put that one. I can dig that one. That'll be in the faves.
Yeah, let's put that in. Oh my gosh.
That's gonna be in the faves.
I came up with a concept yesterday and I'm trying to see if I can find a beat that fits that concept, and that one fits it kind of.
Nice. I like these little with the bass too. I like that. Okay. Another fave for me. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I like it. I still like the first one better.
But like I'm not like in love with it, but I like it a lot. Like I could definitely jam to that. I like both so far. I want to hear them all before I really say which one my favorites. Like that. So
I just
number 3 and 6.
And so it's really dope whenever it comes to this stage of the process of creating an album, and it is an entire stage. It takes a lot whenever you are striving to, like, choosing singles is different. Like, okay, I want to make a single, I need a beat, that's dope, let's create. Yeah. Or I want to make another single, let's create, that's dope. But whenever you are trying to bring an entire project together and make it super cohesive,
you gotta think bigger.
You have to think way bigger. You have to think about everything coming together and having the same or a similar theme, and it all sounding like this all fits together on one project.
And we don't mean like every song sounding the same. Like when we say choosing a vibe for the album, whenever we pick a different beat, it's not about choosing a bunch of different songs that sound the same. It's about choosing a bunch of different songs that work together, that complement each other, that work together as a full album package. You know what I'm saying? So I really believe that, you know, whenever we're picking a beat, like for example, when we're choosing later, like when we're late in the process of the album, and we already have like 8 songs, 6 songs, whatever, we're thinking about, okay, how do those other 6 songs sound? And what can we add on to those 6 songs that's different, that sounds different, but at the same time still fits in the whole theme of the album.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, you want it to be well-rounded. You want it to be something that people can put on and they can be like, I don't like. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody that talks like this the whole time and they never change their voice tone or anything like that? And it's monotone. It gets on your nerves after a while. It becomes boring, and you begin to drown it out. And the same thing with music. You don't want to have a monotone album. You want to have a project that is up and down and middle and up and down, up and super up and then down. And then not only that, but the genre or the feel of each song is kind of different. Like for us, for example, like as you know, like we make music that people dance Brazilian Zouk to. We make music that people dance Kizomba to. People dance Urban Kids to. We make music that people dance Afro to. And so every style of music you're gonna have on the project. And so it's just finding different beats and making sure that they all fit on that same theme of the project, and this specifically with the theme Escape.
Yeah. And then number 5, I don't even want to play it because I want to save it.
Goodness gracious!
I want to save it.
This one hits the vibe.
This is right in the spot what we're looking for. Like this one right here, I feel like is like right there. I feel like this is right. This is exactly the type of beat we're looking for to add into the album. Like we got some good stuff already, but we ain't got nothing like this. We both feeling this kind of vibe. So yeah, I can't wait to ride to this beat. Alright, so tell me your concept for one. Before you tell me the concept though. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And also a lot of times when you first like in the earlier stages of putting the album together, coming up with ideas, like we have. Again, kind of going back to what we talked about last episode, the season of life that you're in. You know, you're into a different style of music. You know, I mean, your mind has gotten more open about more styles of music. For example, with me, between the old project we did Airplane Mode, and now I have discovered Afro House and Afro Beat. You know, that's something that in the season of my life that I'm in right now, I really enjoy that type of music. Therefore, I'm like, well, I like this kind of music. You know. Mm-hmm. And I know that the music that we make is related to the same, audience. Right. And so I was like, well, let's give it a try. So you can hear some Afro stuff. I mean, obviously you can hear some Zouk stuff because, it's also another season of our life, that Zouk is very a major part of, you know what I'm saying? Right. So as we grow as artists, we're not only thinking about, okay, let's make a whole bunch of really dope Kizomba beats, Kizomba songs, because the whole first thing was all about Kizomba, but now it's like we've opened our mind up to more styles of music. Saying we've grown as artists, and when we're picking different beats, we're also looking for different styles. But at the same time, we're looking at those different styles. We're still looking for a beat that meets the standard of the quality that we're looking for, and also that meets the vibe of the entire project we're working on.
Right, because I mean, sometimes we'll have a playlist of 20 songs that we have, but all 20 songs don't make the album. And that's typical for an artist. Like most of the time, whenever you hear an album that an artist put out, if it's 16 songs, they probably chose between at least 20 to 25 songs. And there's a bunch of songs that didn't make the album. And so for us, we have a bunch of songs that we will then, after they're done, recorded, features are on them, and they're mixed and everything, we'll sit down and be like, okay, like now which one fits the album? Yeah. And we determine which ones are going to fit on the project and which ones are going to really bring out what we're striving to say, which ones are going to bring the most energy out of people, like all these different things is what we're pushing to do whenever it comes to deciding the production and deciding the producers.
There's some concept that you want to fit into a beat. What concept is it? I want to know what it is before you sing it. Just the concept in general, not the melody.
Basically, I want to do a song about pause it real quick. I want to do a song.
I'm looking for the heck iTunes is.
Okay. I want to do a song about with the concept that you're in the car or a guy is in the car. It's kind of funny, but not really.
Okay.
A guy is in the car with his girl, and they're spending time together or whatnot, and you are headed somewhere. You don't know where. Actually, you do know where, but you're headed somewhere. The sun is setting. It's driving you on a long road trip, trying to get somewhere that you're traveling to, and the concept is you keep talking to her, and you're like, babe, like you bad, you fine, this and that, blah blah blah. Blah. And though she appreciates compliments,
Right.
she responds like, just shut up and drive. Okay. So like the chorus is kind of like the concept is like y'all riding together, y'all going somewhere, the scenery's beautiful, you traveling, and you compliment her, you're telling her this and that, and she's like, babe, let's just be in the moment. Like, stop talking. I like to work with multiple producers.
I agree.
I really do. I enjoy the different aspect and the art that different producers bring.
One of the different creativity they all bring to the table too is in this album we started working with a lot of people we hadn't worked with before in the past, and so the cool thing was that all these people were like we respect them as creators, and they send us a package of beats. Like we said at the beginning, we love receiving beats. We send us a package of beats, we listen to them, and it has their vibe on it too. It's like whenever we get a beat from a certain producer, it's like it's also a piece of them. You know what I mean? So we take it and we create the concepts for it. We create the song to go with it that we think can complement that beat the most. But it's still like it comes in a certain way. It's just something about it. Sometimes it's kind of hard to explain. It's like the same thing as if you were to compare us to some other artists out there. We both have different types, different styles we bring to the table. And that's another reason we like to collaborate with a lot of different singers too. Singers and whatever it may be, we like to collaborate with other singers because they bring a different vibe. We'll write a song or a chorus for a song we want to do, and then we bring her on board a singer to sing it with us, and then they will take what we wrote and what we sang it, and we did a reference track. We send it to them, and then they come back and it sounds completely different, and not in a bad way, but it comes back completely different. Now it has their heart, it has their soul on it, it has their creativity, it has all the the different things that we could never have we could never have thought of. You know what I'm saying? So they bring in their own style to it. That's another part that I love, outside of just working with producers who bring in different styles, but also working with other artists who bring in different styles. Again, I like it, but I mean, it doesn't matter what Flip makes, I'm gonna like it. That was the old track.
I was about to say, what the heck was that?
That was the old track.
I was like, what was that? Okay, boy, you about to make me freak out.
When you mesh all that together, you get this perfect mixture of a song, and then when you bring that and you incorporate that into your album, it has, like you said earlier, you don't get that monotone anymore. It's not just Archie Sizzle talking like this the whole time, but you're hearing this one singer, hearing a different singer, then you hear, because that singer sounds a certain way, we end up sounding a little bit different.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's one of the reasons why, sometimes I don't, unless it's already written, sometimes I don't write my verse until I get the chorus back.
Yep.
Or I don't record my verse until I get the chorus back, because I vibe off of their vibe whenever I'm recording or whenever I am writing, and I'm separating myself and I'm writing the verse or the bridge or whatever for the song. If somebody else is featured on it, I don't write or record until I do that. Also, even if it's us doing the chorus, I don't like to record my verse until we lay the chorus down on the song, because I vibe off of the chorus whenever I'm getting ready to go into my verse. It's just a different feel.
And the chorus also sounds a whole lot different once we go through in the studio and build it, rather than just in our head. Because when we're listening to the beats, we're in our car or somewhere, wherever we're writing at, and we're just jamming to it, oh yeah, sounds like a dope idea. We're thinking about how the ad-libs are gonna go, how the background vocals are gonna go, all that kind of stuff. But when you get into the studio, it's like you put that down, and then sometimes it sounds great, sometimes it does not sound good, sometimes it sounds like crap. But then you go in there and you work with it until it sounds good, and then you have a whole different product than what you thought of in your head. And then there's one example in the past where we were doing a song featuring a singer, and We wrote all of our verses. We basically wrote everything before the singer even came to the studio. The singer comes to the studio, and like the way he sang it was a whole different vibe than what we had been writing to the entire time we had been writing to this song. And so we ended up coming back to the studio again and rewriting. And, I don't know if we rewrote it completely, but I know we came back, we've rewritten some parts, and we came back and recorded those parts because the vibe changed so much from when we put down our verses and wrote our part versus when the singer came in, and we liked how he did it better. So it happens. It definitely happens. I'm thinking where my mind is going with this is basically like you're basically telling her everything you appreciate about her, which is good. She likes that.
She
but at the
appreciates
time,
Based
of you
on
telling
every
her all
other
this
freaking
stuff,
song that we have, we know she appreciates.
yeah,
it.
she knows. She better know. But at the time, you're together enjoying life and stuff like that, and she's more like, okay, I get it. Like, let's just enjoy the day together, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
like, stop talking and let's just be with one another.
right.
Like, all this talking isn't needed, you know?
Or you also think about like, stop talking about all the things that you want to do or places that you want to go. Let's just do those things. Let's just go to those places.
Yeah.
Or like, you know.
Right.
Like, for example, instead of like spending your whole weekend sitting there like, oh, we could do this and we could do that and we can do this, we could do that. Instead, you're just like, just go to the park.
Right.
Let's just like let's go to movies. Let's go hang out. Let's go do whatever. You know, instead of like sitting around talking about it, planning, text messaging back and forth about the things you want to do. You got time. You're free. Just go for it. So I guess that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah. So yeah,
I can dig it.
I can show you like
But you had an actual chorus idea or just a concept?
No, I wrote some lyrics.
Mm-hmm. So like choosing the vibe is different, man. And another dope thing about it is, as you know, whenever you listen to our music, especially because we dance kizomba, we dance salsa and bachata and all of these different styles of dance, and it influences how we create music a lot. And so you'll hear, like, whenever we hear or whenever we receive a beat or a piece of production from a producer, a lot of times it sounds completely different whenever it gets to the final cut. Because we've been in the studio cutting and drops and changing up the beat like this and making this part a little longer and making this part a little shorter and adding this here. For example, with Red Dress, if you would have heard Red Dress when we first received it, it sounds completely different than it does in the final draft, because we are in the studio Dr. Frankensteining the beat with our engineer, and it causes us to produce something we feel that is way better for people to dance to, because we are dancers as well. And so whenever, that's like something that you'll hear about whenever we talk about the mixing and the mastering of stuff. But even with the production side of that, we love to chop up and edit and cut all these beats together in order to make them more danceable whenever it comes to them being played on the dance floor.
Like, cut it here. Now we get it done. I guess like double all that, except for take out the duplicate this whole thing right there. Like, and then move everything over one. Right where actually go back. Where's it at? Right here. So right there. Yeah. Where, oh, you took it out already. Okay, so could you take everything from here to here, duplicate this, and move everything over, and then keep the duplicate right there.
That drop you have, the walk, talk, dance, chill, on the very end of that, wherever that is. Do like a complete drop of everything. Walk, talk, dance, chill. I'll wait for that. Everything but that.
Also, another cool thing whenever it comes to the beat choosing process is sometimes we'll sit down and we'll have concepts in our heads already. We'll have ideas and thoughts already floating around, or we've already talked about them. And we will message our producer and say, hey, can you make me a beat that sounds like this?
Yeah.
So for example, I have an idea. I want to write a song about the struggle because it's hard, and the struggle of striving after accomplishing what you're striving to accomplish. And you say, hey producer, can you make me a beat that sounds like the struggle of striving to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish? And they'll be like, I got you. And they'll send us some stuff, and you'll listen to it, and you'll be like, man, this beat sounds like the freaking struggle. And so it's like, sometimes it'll happen like that. Or on other times, they'll send us beats, and then we will hear a concept within the beat. And so for us, we work both. It works both ways. We're not just like one side where it's like I have concepts or I have lyrics already written, and now I need some music to put it on. And we're also not only I have a beat, now I need to put lyrics down on the beat. It works both ways with us. And choosing the producers to work with, man, I mean, it's dope. Another thing that a lot of people may not or may know about the album process is it's not a cheap process. Things aren't free unless you. Nah, things ain't free. That's just what it is. They're not free.
I mean, even if you do it yourself, it ain't free. You spending your own time. That you know, they always say time is money.
Time is
you know,
money,
if you spending time on making something, you know, rather than spending time on something that's going to directly make you money, you know, then you're still spending money on that time you're spending, you know. So either way, you know, it's definitely expensive, but one thing I believe though when it comes to that, and this is for anybody out there who has something that they want to do, and I hate to get all motivational on y'all, but
always get motivated.
but I always believe that you should never allow finances to stop you from accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish. Oh man. You're killing me, Flip. You're killing me. Uh-oh. Hold on. Restart. I wasn't ready.
I think I like this.
I wasn't ready. I listened to, we listened to 5 seconds of this track, and I already, yeah. All right, replay. Number 5, take 2. I want it.
I like this one.
I want it.
I hope it doesn't let me down.
Don't let me down. Oh, okay, here we go.
I know my top 2 right now so far.
Yep.
Alright, this 6th one might throw a wrench in the system.
Let's see what's number 6. That 5 right now is my top. That's just 1. 5 is my 1. Alright, let's go. Say some concept that you want to fit into a beat. What concept is it? I want to know what it is before you sing it. Just the concept in general, not the melody.
Basically, I want to do a song.
So I feel the same with us. I always continue to think about that because, you know, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy. We've already spent a lot of money on the project, and there's still a lot more money to be paid. And just, you know, that's another part of our own struggle is making sure that we have the finances and to pay producers, to pay you know, the studio time, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not cheap, but you know, you just don't let it stop you. You know, we have. I feel like we have a great product. I feel like we have great ideas. I feel like these are things that need to be put out there.
Next week on A&S.
The cock off I
You gonna record this too?
Yep. Talking to me when I speed out. Oh, that's dope. Every time I breathe in, I breathe out. Pause, you know what I'm saying? And every time she leaves me, I bleed out. That's dope. I'm gonna keep that.